What's going on, everyone? Happy Wednesday to everyone. Hopefully everyone is doing well, staying safe, testing negative. Of course, if you did test positive, I hope you have a full and speedy recovery. And that goes for all of the viruses. It is time now for the Wednesday edition of the Pandemic Update for Wednesday, January 10th, 2024. We have several news stories that we are going to go through today. Then we are going to take a look at some data. And we are also going to talk about some good news for me. Yes, I do have some good news to report on today. First off, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below and give it a thumbs up if you like these videos. This is where I try and help keep you safe from all the various different viruses that are going on out there in the world. There's a lot of them, and we're going to talk about a few of them today. Today, I went to my pulmonologist. This is the good news. And I got an update on, they checked my lungs, they checked my O2 levels, which, as you know, I was sick last week. And they said my lungs sound really, really good. That the Exolar treatment that I'm getting is helping me, and I can feel it. I've been feeling it lately, noticing that it's feeling better. Aside from being sick last week, I have noticed the improvement in my breathing. That, and they're still satisfied with me taking the breast treatment as well. So that is going to continue. And my next pulmonologist appointment is not going to be until July. Yes, 6 months out, because I'm going to continue getting the Exolar shots and stay with the breasttree. And it's even possible that come July, they may say, hey, you know what? Your lungs sound so good that maybe I will be able to trend down on the dosage of breasttree puffs that they, inhaler. So, yes, some really good news. Alrighty, our first news today is this. 8 confirmed cases of measles now. Yes, in Philadelphia, the measles surge continues. It's now up to 8 cases. You're probably thinking, well, that's not many cases. But, hey, measles can be highly contagious. And what I want you to be aware of is where these have been happening. We talked about the one down at Jefferson Health down in Center City, Philadelphia, and then the Multicultural Education Station Daycare located on Castro Avenue up here in Northeast Philly. Yeah, not terribly far from where I'm at. You get the idea. I'm in Northeast Philly. The Children's Hospital of Philadelphia Emergency Room, Nemours Hospital located on 833 Chestnut Street, that's downtown. St. Christopher's Hospital for Children Emergency Department, and then Nazareth Hospital, which I had said before. I used to have an uncle. He's no longer living, but that used to be his hospital way back when. And he was actually chief of staff, head of radiology. Yeah, sad to see this happening. And Holy Redeemer Hospital, again, not far away. Abington Hospital. I've delivered to Abington Hospital, and here you go. On January 3rd, between 7:15 p.m. and 9:45 p.m., there was possible exposure to measles. So, yes, this is something that you want to take note of if you are at any of these hospitals. And I will tweet the updated list here out on Twitter in just a little bit. All right, we've been hearing about Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin. He's been hospitalized with an illness. Turns out he has prostate cancer, and that's why he has been hospitalized. It says right here, he discloses that he is dealing with prostate cancer. All right, moving on to this now, switching gears a little bit. County investigation, foodborne illness. This is from San Diego. There's complaints at 3 fish shop locations. If you want to read more about this, if you want to read what the different locations are, again, go to my Twitter or Blue Sky, where I will tweet this out, and you can read about all the different fish shops that are affected in this outbreak. All right, taking a look at this now. This is a new study that came out. Intense exercise might pose risks for long COVID patients, study finds. Yes, and you know what? I personally know a lot of people who have had COVID who are big on exercise, and they rush to get back into that. We've talked about this before. I actually did an individual video somewhere, if I remember correctly, about rushing back into your life post-COVID. You don't want to do that. You want to gradually ease your way back into things. Slowly. Give your body the proper amount of rest post-COVID infection, or else, you know what could happen? You could push yourself to long COVID. The other thing is, if you already have long COVID, which is what they're referring to here. If you already have long COVID, intense exercise could make your long COVID even worse. You could get tired. It could lead to maybe blood clots. There's a whole bunch of different things that are popping up in these various different studies. If you want to read this full study, I believe I posted it on my site already. It'll also be on Twitter. My site, by the way, if you want to look up studies, which I do post links to these different studies, I archive them on my site. It's datareport.info. I encourage you to check that out. Maybe you're trying to find answers about something. Maybe you want to know about someone who's been positive for COVID or any of this stuff. Check it out. It's a wealth of information. The archives are there to help you find answers. All right, moving on to this now. This comes from Mike Horger. He does these forecasts for the different variants of COVID, the COVID waves. Yesterday, he put out an update on the current wave. And it says, we're peaking at 2 million infections a day. 1 in 23 people are actively infectious today. 1 in 3 people in the U.S. will be infected during the peak 2 months. Second biggest U.S. surge of all time. I've been saying that continuously. This really is the second biggest surge of all time. So right now we're in the peak. Of course, as you know, every state is going to peak at a different day in time. But what we are noticing right now is we're at the peak levels, and on the national standpoint, pretty soon we're going to start to see things drop gradually, which is a good thing. Continuing on here, he put quite a few tweets. Before diving into the COVID forecast, know that you can make a difference, and you can. Clean air, masking. Yes, I know people don't like when I post about these masks. I mean, I've been getting a lot of interesting comments lately. Maybe one of these days we are going to do a video just on the interesting comments and debunk the myths and lies and whatever you want to call it that people are putting in some of these comments saying, oh, masks don't work. Oh, it's the vaccine that's causing these problems. No, that's not true. Masks work quite well. My pulmonologist said today my lungs sound great. Guess what? I had a mask on at the same time. It doesn't obstruct your breathing, okay? All right, continuing on. In the U.S. COVID surge, it's not just the peak, it's the width of the mountain. And that really is true. It's because you have to think about this. When we're going up, when cases were going up at the end of the last year, that is really a dangerous time. Right now, we're at the top. And as you're getting close to that top, you're at really high levels. Well, just because levels are going to start going downward now doesn't mean it's not going to be dangerous, because they're going to be going down from really high levels. So the first month of dropping, levels are still going to be high, and you could still easily get infected if you don't take proper precautions, or if you attend large gatherings, or do whatever and just get very laid back about COVID. Remember, it's going to take a long time for things to drop, and it's going to be dropping all the way through majority of February, and the bottoming probably won't be from the drop until sometime in March, and who knows what happens after that, because once you get out that far, it's really hard to say what will happen. Remember, folks, a new variant could pop up at any time. And I want you to see this. How does risk increase with more social contact? Well, with just one person around you, chances of anyone infectious is 4.3%. Let's come down to 10. It goes up to 35.6%. If you have 20 people around you, hey, it's possible. There's a 58% chance, 58.5% chance that someone could be infectious. It's go up to 100 people. If you're in a large gathering of 100 people, 98.8% chance that someone is infected with COVID right now. 500 people, that's at the highest level here, 99.9% that someone is infected, and it's actually over 99. It's guaranteed. There's going to be someone that is infected with COVID in that facility or wherever you are, or in that gathering or whatever it is. All right, looking at this. Korea, South Korea, 2 years after COVID-19 infection, 62% of a South Korean cohort still had symptoms such as fatigue, memory loss, and depression, finds a study published today in Scientific Reports. Yeah, that's not good. 62%? Wow, that's an alarming number. All right, we are going to start showing this every day, until Mandy Cohen decides to make a tweet. We're in the second biggest wave of the pandemic, and CDC Director Mandy Cohen, yet again, as you can see here, has not made a tweet. She has remained silent. There's speculation she could be sick. Who knows? I don't know, but where are you, Mandy? Yoo-hoo, Mandy, where are you? You know, it's like Scooby-Doo. There's been a lot of goofy stuff being posted. There was a Scooby-Doo reference. All right, this comes from Iowa COVID-19 tracker.org, and I want you to pay close attention to something here. This chart on the left, it's a relatively interesting chart. I just noticed it today, and I started thinking, you know what? We need to show this. So look at the different variants back to 2021. BA.1. Remember BA 2.12, then came XBB, then EG.5, and now JN.1. Take a look at this. You're going to see something here that's really astonishing. You can see BA 2.12, then XBB. I mean, look how fast some of these went up. But look at JN.1. It went like a rocket ship. It went literally straight up. And it's broken up into regions. And you can see the Midwest region really took off. I mean, that is relatively impressive how fast the JN.1 variant took off in the Midwest. But if you look at the purple here in the West, and you can see the West was slower to take off. Still it is at high levels, but it's not at the very high levels that we're seeing for the Midwest, which is at excessive at this point. That's one of the highest things on this chart. Actually, astronomical would be highest, but again, it probably will go to astronomical on the next update, I would assume. And then we also take a look at this. Look at the virus activity levels across the country. Pennsylvania is very high. You come out to California, it's just high. So we'll have to see if the West Coast, while everywhere else starts dropping, if the West Coast lags behind and rises a little bit higher. All right, let's take a look at today's air quality values. We can see air quality values across the country should not be terrible. The East Coast is doing great. Chicago area, a little bit moderate. Same thing with California. You got to understand, West Coast, it's fireplace season. All right, skipping on now to Walgreens. The national positivity is 28.1%. We want to take a look now at CDC data. And 34,798 people in the hospital in the past week. Taking a look now at, let's see, Philadelphia here. Do I have this up here? Yes, we can pull this up. Philadelphia EMS calls for Tuesday was at 789, so it was higher than the number that was reported on Monday. Let's do a live look in at the burbs right now, and whoa, look at all these calls in Montgomery County. 21 active calls right now for just about everything. I'm seeing all kinds of calls. I'm seeing several cardiac emergencies, respiratory emergencies, unconscious subjects. Yeah, nauseous, vomiting. People are still sick. I mean, we are still in the thick of this wave, so call volume is high. You're seeing multiple sick person calls in Chester County, Pennsylvania. And you know what? Let's continue this on. How's it looking in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania right now? And yes, we can't see the types of calls, but we can see there are quite a few calls. Taking a look at New Jersey today, I have to refresh this. Multiple hospitals, yet again, in New Jersey did not report, but I can tell you, though it is 64 out of 70, if they all did report, they're bouncing around on the top of the wave right now. They're at the top of this wave. They're not dropping yet, but they're bouncing at the top. Probably within a week or two, we will start to see New Jersey start to drop. 1,368, we know that number would be higher. In the ICU, it's now at 170. That's not a good number. And take a look at discharges. 233 discharges reported. Taking a look now at New York State, 3,319 people in the hospital, 3,319 cases in the last 24 hours. Now we're going to take a look at the hospital number, which I can tell you the hospital number is actually lower than that. It is at 3,206. So as of right now, their peak hospital number was 3,403, set back on January 2nd, which that is some good news that they are now appearing to be dropping. And New York City, remember they rose yesterday? New York City, and I'm going to pull that up here. It always refreshes. New York City is now dropping as well, and you'll see that quite clearly. And you can see New York City is down to 1,325. Yesterday, they were at 1,373. Let's see, did we get an update out of Texas yet? It's supposed to come in on Wednesdays. Sometimes it either comes in really late or first thing on Thursday morning. And no, we did not get that update out of Texas, nor did we any other state. I've refreshed all the other states that I have up here, and we do not have updates out of them yet. Let's just check here. Did we get anything out of Massachusetts? No, we did not, but I can tell you the most recent number is 17.8% of all emergency department visits were for respiratory illness. I like to say that's a pretty high number. I think that is a high number. It's higher than it should be, but it is that time of year. It would be less if COVID was not in the picture, of course. Alrighty, folks, that does it for today's pandemic update. We will have another pandemic update again tomorrow where we should have more states in. I think it's going to be another data-filled update. Friday is going to be an update. I can tell you right now, I believe Friday is going to be an update from out in the wild. So what did we learn today? We learned that we are nearing or at the peak of this wave, but that things are still very dangerous, and that in some states they're going to continue rising. Colorado is definitely one of them. There's a few other states that will continue rising, maybe California. Not all states will peak at the same time. New York and New Jersey are going to be the first states. New York, it's already visible in the data. New Jersey will follow soon, and other states will slowly start to follow. It's not going to be just a rapid drop. It's going to be a gradual decline now in places. But at the same time, please remember to stay vigilant. Continue masking up. Continue doing what you need to do to stay safe, because at any given time, maybe even today, maybe tomorrow, a new variant could pop up that could be stronger than JN.1. It's at some point in time that will be a thing. Trust me, it will be. So we need to keep our eyes open at all times. Keep an eye on the news. Keep watching these pandemic updates each day to help keep you safe. Alrighty, guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe to my channel down below. If you know anyone that needs to see these videos, I definitely know there are people that are unaware of what's going on right now. By all means, share this with them. And of course, if you have any comments, leave them down below. I do love reading each and every comment. I will see you guys all again next time. Until I see you again next time, stay safe, everyone, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.